All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to start rambling if you're all good with that. If anybody else joins us, that's wonderful. Um, but it's 6 o'clock, and I'm all about following rules and being punctual and stuff. So quick introduction to myself, and I'm Zach Turner. I do workforce development coordinator through the Family Service Center in Huntsville. If you're unfamiliar with the Family Service Center, I would highly recommend looking at the website, and I'll be actually happy to answer any questions you all may have um, about the other services we have. But the main focus of what I want to talk about is the workforce development program, which is part of what it is what I run. Um, Workforce development is a hot topic right now, and it's a catchy sort of phrase or group of words, and it a lot of people have their own interpretations of what it means, and I work under a very specific sector of that. So I work under a reset, which is a long acronym for Alabama Resources for Enrichment and Self-Sufficiency and Employability Training. That's a mouthful. Uh, and it falls under Governor's Ivy initiative to get 500,000 certified trained workers by 2025. And right there, that sounds intimidating a little to some, and I understand that for what it's worth. So let me break down sort of what it means. So under a reset, there's certain qualifications that you have to meet. For my services, you have to be in Madison County. And the reason that is there is a reset programs and just close to, not all of them yet, but just about every county in Alabama right now. So you have to go through a reset personnel that's in the county that you're from. Uh, the other requirements are that you are SNAP. You receive SNAP benefits, and SNAP benefits are the new terminology for what used to be food stamps. And you cannot be receiving TANF funds. TANF funds are the new terminology. It's temporary assistance for needy families, and that's what's taken over the welfare. So you can receive TANF funds from wraparound services, but not from direct payments and checks from DHR. And yes, a reset is run closely with DHR. Uh, the only other requirement to be eligible for my services is that you want to improve your job situation. If you meet those requirements, my services actually aren't only free, but you get paid to participate. Through DHR, if you put in from the 1st to the 15th of the month, if you put in 2 hours work with me, and then from the 16th to the end of the month, if you put in 2 hours work with me, you're eligible for $50 payments, which come in old-fashioned paper checks from DHR. So that means you can make up to $100 a month just to work with me. It's not a lot of money, but it's a small stipend which is intended to help cover the cost of participating in the program. And unlike the EBT cards, which is what comes with SNAP, which has a lot of restrictions, the $50 checks twice a month have no restrictions. Um, you can use them for whatever you need at that time. So with that, the I'm going to try to share my screen. So give me a second. this is a little flyer that you might have seen that sort of is a snapshot of the elevator speech in my program. So the first part has, some of our services include the case management, supervised job search training, work readiness training, resume building, psychoeducational classes, ACE and MAP certification. Um, and then the second page of it sort of gets more into the nitty gritty. So what I've found through working for and with a reset is that a lot of workforce development programs are they say the name, but some are like help with clothing, some of them help with transportation. There's a whole lot of different things. And then there's some like boot camp type of things, which is a program that you have to sign up for and show up for classes X amount of times a week for X amount of weeks to get essentially a certificate of completion. Um, what I focus a lot more on, and what I'm seeing as so far, and this might change, as one of the major needs in this community, in the Huntsville and surrounding areas, is essentially the job coach. So it's the case management piece to it. So it's looking at uh, sort of two main parts of the population, and one is um, some people who are doing all right, they hit a road bump, and then they have all these barriers and can't navigate through them. The other part is people who are um, living on or close to that poverty line or below it, and they're looking at, I need some source of income. So they're just finding any job. And even though they might have in the back of their mind sort of a big picture plan of what they really want to do, that job encompasses their time. They're not able to follow through with their overall goals or don't think they can. And then of course, if it's just a job, it's not really sustainable, so it doesn't last, right? So as sort of that job coach, I can help navigate those pieces as well as figure out how to get over those road bumps and and keep on track with what's more of a career pathway or career training. Uh, Now, right there, uh, and so this outline here that I'm showing you has, as far as assist with identifying employment goals and strategies to meet the goals, develop individualized employment plan, connect with community resources, like pretty generic stuff. Um, but bottom line is, if somebody comes into my office or wants my services and we sign up and we agree to work together, and part of it is the workforce development thing is looking at, do you know what your values and where your ideal work environment is? Some places will get you to go through checklists and do these worksheets. If we talk and that's not an interest for you, you know where you're at there. We're not going to waste time going over that stuff and doing what would then be redundant work. We're going to focus, I want to focus on what the individual wants and where the individual's at and what the individual needs. And so it's very much not a cookie cutter program. It's based on where are you at, where do you want to go, and then let's talk about either what's holding you up from that and how to get a hold of those resources, or um, let's break that down into small measurable steps and really start working through um, what it takes to get you there. So I'm going to stop sharing this if you're all good with that, and I can put it back up at any given point. But so far, is there any questions about what I've thrown at you so far?
Honestly, it's pretty self-explanatory. So I mean, you did a good job presenting it very well. I'm for sure interested.
Gotcha. And I appreciate that. And that's one of the things I'm going like I'm 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 here. I can help. And here's let me tell you some of the other ways that I can help. Because it's like um again, that job coach thing is fairly vague. So I'm in a box in that all I do is work. So people are asking me for, well, I need this assistance. I need that assistance. I can point you in the right direction. And one of the best starts for anybody who's in sort of crisis and needs some assistance is alhelp.org. And that has, it's a really easy website to navigate. And again, it's alhelp.org. And it doesn't have all the nonprofit services in the area, but it has a lot. And it's sectioned down to if you need assistance with utilities, you can click on the utilities button. It'll show a map, or you can scroll through the written summaries, and it'll tell you who in the area has it, what you need to where you need to be at to be qualified for it, um, what the application process is, and what times you need to contact them. So instead of just asking anybody, you can look at and find actual sources. And again, it's not 100% inclusive, but it keeps growing. Um, and it is one of the best sort of basic resource things I've seen, and it has everything from household products to utility assistance on there. Um, there's there's some other so that's give me a second. Sometimes I have to stop and think, otherwise I ramble and go off on tangents. So aside from pointing you to those, I have a lot of relationships with the different players in the community. So like for the Career Center, for example, to be eligible for their services, there's a lot of stipulations. But you have to be eligible, which if you're eligible for my services, you're eligible for their services. And what they do is, in part, is on the job training. So if you're eligible and suitable is the second part, you can get free training through one of the college programs, the technical programs, and they will place you in a job once you complete it. Part of the problem they have is that suitability piece. Because if they decide they're going to invest in an individual and that individual flakes out, or they run into barriers and can't complete it, not only does the individual lose, the Career Center loses, and another person who might have been able to use that loses, because it's a one-time deal and they don't get their funds refunded to them. But if at the Career Center, if they see that somebody's working with me and they're following through with their tasks, and they're doing what they need to do to get sustainable employment, they're more likely to accept them. Same thing with Ride United, and there's no guarantees, of course, but it helps. Ride United is an amazing resource, which anybody for emergencies can get 5 essentially round trip Lyft rides um, through them. It's primarily for work, but their longer term program is strictly for work. A temporary assistance to get to and from work or to and from interviews, and it's managed by a case manager who will look at the individual's case, their situation, and make, based on their policies, procedures, make decisions on who they approve and for how long. Again, if their case manager sees that they're doing work with the workforce development program and making progress towards their goals, what are the odds that they're going to get approved for that assistance, right? So it's not only with just helping connect to the networks, the other sort of community resource and nonprofit networks, but it also acts as a way to vet yourself with them and increase your chance of getting what you need for the short term to get over that hump and to get more self-sufficient and stable. So that's a piece of what I can help with. And of course, as I said, no guarantees, but I can help with. And I won't do work for people, but I will work as hard as the individual is working. I'll put in as much equity as they do every day, without question. Because that's just in part how I'm wired. Now, the other piece to that is the community college for those who are looking for more than just getting sustainable employment and looking at that upskilling piece. I've been on the community college websites. It is very hard to figure out, in part, what the courses are, when they are, um, what funding is available. Um, it's a spider web or a rabbit hole, so to speak, that's very difficult to navigate. Uh, in part, that's what I've done since I've started this job is made connections at the community colleges and talked with people in their workforce development, because they have workforce development directors there as well, and in their adult education to figure out, okay, if I have a client who has these barriers or has these needs, what does this process look like, and who do we have to contact, and how do we get them there with the least sort of red tape or runaround as possible? So that's one of the systems that I've gotten pretty proficient in being able to navigate. And again, the folks in the community college, if they know somebody's working with me in the workforce development field and doing what they're supposed to do, they have they're going to be swayed. A lot of their biases will be lifted, and they're going to be swayed to give you a chance over somebody else. Fair or not fair, it's the reality of it. If they know somebody has sweat equity in the game, they're more willing to put more effort into it. And again, there's no guarantees, and it's not like I'm magic ticket and can get anybody anything they want, but I will do my best if somebody's, one, interested and eligible for my services, and two, truly trying to get a hand up. Uh, and again, I know this is a bit of an information dump, but is there any questions about anything that I've covered up to this point?
Hey, Zach, this is Donna Duncan, Sarah's mom. We're not eligible for your help. We're in Limestone County, but maybe you can point us in a direction. We're a brief background. My daughter is unable to be eligible for SNAP because she can't work 30 hours. Not in a, get out of the house kind of thing. We've been working on disability, all kinds of stuff. And right now we're just going down a rabbit hole. Anyway, her dad and I were able to help her for a long time, but I'm almost 70, he's almost 80, and this just can't work. And she wants to work and provide for her daughter. What we were looking for is maybe a program that would help with computer skills and maybe has listings of jobs from home or something. I don't know if that's in any way anything you can help us with, but all this other stuff sounds great. It's really, we just, it doesn't apply to us. And And I'm going to give you a shout out to community college. That's where I started many, many eons ago. So anyone that is interested in community college, I just love that system. Anyway. So
Gotcha. Here's a couple things. Don't rule out that she's not, I mean, unless you apply for it, and I don't need the details for this, you don't need to share them with me. But unless she's applied for SNAP benefits, don't rule it out. If she's over 23, she can, even if she's living with y'all, she can apply for her own case and let DHR decide what.
they did, and she's not, I
Okay.
think.
With disabilities, if she gets approved for that, Alabama Rehabilitation Services is an excellent resource. They do case management. It's a lot of paperwork for their sort of hoops to jump through for their intakes, but they deal with looking at the abilities and the accommodations that need, and they do on-the-job training. And I know that that applying for disabilities and getting approved can take some time. So that's,
We've
you
been
know,
working for years.
yeah. So the other piece to it is that work from home stuff has become a very hot topic, and it's all over MSN on their feeds all the time. And unfortunately, there's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of places that are looking to take advantage of people, or a lot of people, I guess, that are looking to take advantage of people. And it's very, very difficult to figure, and or what they're going to look at is sort of cold calling or high pressured sales job that are commission based and not reliable, right? Which
Right.
works for some people, but not everybody. If you look, one of the things to do is look at Better Business Bureau companies that have the remote. Sorry, my dog came in and knocked my phone over. But making sure you look at the companies at the Better Business Bureau is one of the things. The other thing is airlines and insurance companies are often hiring, and you can go to their actual websites. Almost every company's website now has a career tab on it. And
Okay.
if you look at those, it'll give you a better chance of leading to a more legitimate sort of work from home job.
Okay.
So there's, and you know, even on Indeed, if they see something on Indeed, go to that company's website. Because a lot of the times what happens in Indeed is, and especially with some of the bigger companies, they're feeding that through a staffing agency.
Right.
So if you go to the company's website, you're getting a more direct line, you're getting closer to the company. And you're sifting out, you're giving yourself a sort of heads up over some other people, because right there, the staffing company can see that you're doing your research about the company and not just pointing and clicking or hitting apply to all, because in the Indeed AI tells you, oh, you might like this job, easy apply,
Right.
click here. And the job's in office in Washington, and you're in Huntsville, Alabama, and not willing to relocate,
Yeah.
right?
Gotcha.
So there, and I hope that helps. But that's a starter for it. And always going to the local career center. Those folks are, for the most part, like they have their policies that they have to follow. So sometimes I hear from clients that, I didn't really like the experience, and well, they have their policies to follow, but if they can help you, they are going to help you, and if they can't, they're going to be realistic and honest with you.
Okay. Do you have a name of anybody in the Limestone County office? Are you familiar with anybody there?
I know the Family Service Center's workforce development coordinator there, but she'll fall under a reset, so she falls under
Okay.
the SNAP thing. But just looking up the Career Center, and it might be in Morgan County, that the Career Center has. The other thing is there is a job fair in Morgan Limestone County through a reset. Um, and I forgot the name of the building, but if you're heading from Huntsville over the bridge into Decatur, it's right there on the river, just up, if you make a right where that bend is. And that's coming up on the 17th, and they'll have companies that are, hiring and on the spot, and or can tell what position. So making those connections and actually talking with people can be a good way to find out what's available, and what's around in the community. And that's through a reset on the 17th. And on the flyer, that's my cat. On the flyer that was sent out, my contact is on there. If you email me, I will be happy to send you their flyer.
We don't have a flyer.
We don't have a flyer. Sorry. So,
Hold on, that's fine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen again.
okay.
And I will get to the spot. And now my cat has decided that she wants to test out everything on the kitchen table, including my water glass and computer. Okay, so down here, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the Workforce Development Coordinator. My full name is Zachary Turner. My office number is 256-551-1610, and it's actually extension 224. And then email address is zturner for Zachary Turner at FSC for Family Service Center dash HSV for Huntsville.org. So again, it's zturner at fsc.hsv.org. And if you email me there, I'll be happy to send you that information about the upcoming job fair next week.
That's awesome. I really, really appreciate it. We're gonna, leave now, but thank you so very much for doing this.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm always been one that if I don't like what I'm, there's no point in doing a job that you don't enjoy doing.
That's right. Absolutely.
The only exception that is if you're taking a bridge job and you know what your goals are and you know your steps to get to the, or you have
Right.
somebody to help you get to the next step, where it's a means to an end. It's not the end.
You got it. Again, thank you so very much. You
Absolutely.
hang in there, guy. Better days are coming.
Absolutely.
and work on that social media stuff. Okay.
I intend to. I intend to.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Is there any other questions or concerns?
Zachary, that was amazing a presentation, and by all means, like I said before, I'm more than happy to want to work with you. I'm very interested in what you have to do, especially for the community as well. And I would actually love to dabble my hands on getting into the community side of things as well. So that being said, you have Vanity full scale, even whenever we first talked. I'm sure you have my information. If you do not, I can always just email you or send you my email right now.
Yeah, no, I do, and it was yeah, I'm not going to follow up on this forum with you, but I will follow up with you tomorrow.
Perfect. I'm definitely interested for sure. It would be good to give back to the community, and also help those that truly do need it, So I'm right there with you on the whole aspect of the workforce. And it's needs, there's a lot of people out there that truly do need your inspiration. So in all honesty, I'm thankful that you're here.
Well, I certainly appreciate that, and I didn't realize it, but years ago I picked the job of a servant. I don't know why, but it seems that has been the life I don't know if I chose or it's been handed to me, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that.
Well, I would love to grow with you, and I would love to grow with the community as well. So you already have me on board 100%.
All right, y'all. Is there anything else you need or any other thing I need questions can answer that?
No, no, sir. Actually, you've answered all the questions in the presentation. I'm very thankful. Thank you.
All right, y'all. You have a great evening and God bless.
Thank you, Zachary. You too.
Bye.